Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Austin Petersen, a presidential candidate for the Libertarian Party. Thanks very much for tuning into our nightly live streams. I just have a blast talking to all my audience here on Facebook, and I'm very grateful for you all tuning in. Don't forget, you can always visit my website to find out more about my positions if you go to austinpetersen2016.com. Welcome to the show. Don't forget, you can also subscribe so you get a mobile alert every time we go live by clicking on the live subscribe button here in the top of your screen. Thanks very much for tuning in. The topic of tonight's is the question of, is voting for a third party a wasted vote? And that is always the big question that I get. And I have been calling people all across the country, hundreds of thousands of people actually, all the time trying to talk to people to convince them to vote for me. And one of the big questions always is vote for a third party a wasted vote? And the reason why I'm going to say no is, before I do, I want to read a quote to you from our founding fathers. James Madison said, of course, that you never have a wasted vote because a vote that you give on principle is never a wasted vote. That's not a direct quote. That's a little bit of a sub phrase of it there. But here, let me explain to you why, from a principled perspective, why it's not a wasted vote. Not just from a principled perspective, but from an actual tactical perspective. Most people who get involved in politics just assume that there's just one or two parties that you can vote for. You can vote for a Republican or you can vote for a Democrat. And they think if you vote for a third party, well, that's a wasted vote. And the reason why it's not is because if you're interested in advancing a set of principles, and if you're interested in generational change, not just change now, but generational change, then you should vote your conscience. And let me explain to you why. From a tactical perspective, if you vote for a third party that you believe in, whether it's the Green Party, the Libertarian Party, or the Constitution Party, and that party holds a set of values that you hold as well, the reason why it matters, even if your candidate loses, is because if the candidate manages to get a certain percentage of the vote total, the raw vote total, that actually triggers ballot access in many states. So for example, if I were to win 5% of the national vote, then in the state of Washington, that I would be able to get all of them free ballot access. They become major party ballot access. That would also happen in Washington, D.C. Now, most of the people who vote tend to be older people, right? They tend to be senior citizens who actually do go and vote. That's why Rand Paul did have a bit of a problem, because in Iowa, most of his supporters were very young people. But young people, if you're young like me, then you want to see a more libertarian future, right? Don't we want to see a more libertarian future? If you believe in a libertarian future and you think that there's a chance that we could move the dial towards liberty, then voting for a Libertarian Party presidential candidate will do that. Because whatever state you're in, if I get a high enough percentage of the national vote total, then you will trigger ballot access. Because what I'm doing right now is sort of going out and being the vanguard of this movement. So if I'm out there and if I win a certain percentage of the vote total, well, I might not be in the White House next year. There is a slight chance that I might not win. But if I don't win the White House next year, but I win a certain percentage of the vote total, you've advanced libertarian principles into the future. And if you have a stake in the future, then that's a wise decision to make. Because if I don't win the White House now, maybe I'll be back in 4 years with 10,000 of my friends running for office. And those 10,000 friends, I might be able to put them into positions of power. Maybe I don't win my battle, but my friends win their battles. And sometimes that's important. You need a skirmisher. In a war, what skirmishers do is they go out and pick fights. So during the American Revolution, Washington would have scouts and skirmishers go out and pick fights to try and find out where the enemy was strong, where they were weak, and because he knew that there was a chance that those skirmishers would die, but that the overall strategy of the war would be won, that his troops, that his regular soldiers would. So why it's important for people like myself to fight the good fight and run for president, even though there's a chance I might not win, but there is a chance I could, it's because even if I don't win, I am blazing a trail for libertarians in the future. So whenever somebody asks you if a vote for a third party is a wasted vote, just ask them what it is they believe in, and ask them if they're trying to advance a set of principles. Are they trying to advance a set of ideas? If they're a libertarian, then there's a chance that they might vote for the Libertarian Party. And if they do, then there is a good chance that liberty will happen in our lifetime and that we'll see more libertarians elected to office. Because, you know, right now you may just be terrified of trying to stop Hillary Clinton or terrified of stopping Bernie Sanders. But think about it. We've survived through a lot worse things than Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton. We've had Woodrow Wilson. We've had all sorts of horrible progressives in the office. And I think that if we can just keep the hope and the fire alive, then third parties can make a difference. And we can make a difference now in 2016. And here's the deal. Another interesting thing, and this is just about me personally, of course. If you nominate me for the candidate, for the nominee for the Libertarian Party, you're sending a message that it's time for change. If you vote for Gary Johnson to be the nominee, well, then that's a vote to stay the same. That's a vote to say libertarianism is doing just fine. We need to keep doing what we're doing. Nothing needs to change, and we need to continue our same old failed past and keep our same old failed tactics. But that's not what I want, folks. I want to keep moving us into the future. I want to take libertarianism forward. And so a vote for a third party is not wasted, because if we can get a portion of the national vote, we will have laid the groundwork for liberty in our lifetime. Now, I wanted to try and keep these live streams short because my manager says that you guys only watch a certain percentage of it, but there are a lot of people on there, so I do want to ask you a favor. I want to raise $100 from each of you if I can right now. There's 237 viewers right now. Can you imagine if 230 people gave me $100? That's going to do me a lot of good. I need to raise $10,000 so that I can win the nomination of my party. From now until May, I just need to raise $10K to get me around the country. And guess what? It's my birthday coming up. I'm going to be 35 years old on February the 19th. I'm heading to Florida, and I'm going to crisscross the United States, and I'm going to start seeing people in person. I've been calling people every single day, trying to win people's support for my candidacy, and it's not easy. This is not an easy job running for president, guys. I got gray hairs popping out all over the sides of my head. So do me a favor. Go to apforlp.com and send me $100 to help me get around the country. $50 puts gas in my tank. So don't be shy if you think you can't give that much. That's no problem. Can you give me $20? Go to apforlp.com, send me what you can, help me get around the world, and I promise you that I will make good use of your funds. I'm going to Florida. Yes, check my events page. If you go to austinpetersen2016.com/events, you can see the events page where I'm going to be. And of course, if you're a donor, you're going to get text messages from me, and you'll hear if I'm going to be in your hometown. I love to answer questions that you might have. If you send me, actually, this is one thing. Since I've been calling everyone, if you want to get a personal call from me one-on-one and have a chat, ask me any questions that you like and get a little piece of my time, send me a private message. Go to messages at the top of my Facebook page. Send me your personal phone number and your email address, and I promise you I'll call you as soon as possible. Of course, you know I'm going to ask you for your support, but you know that that's what politicians do, of course. I hate calling myself that, but that's what I am, unfortunately. Sometimes, everybody asks me, why do you want to run for president? And I'm kind of like, well, good libertarians don't really want to rule over the whole country. I love you guys. Every single day I get a chance to talk to you, I get so excited for these live streams because the only reason I've been able to do this is because of you guys. And, I'm going to talk a little smack for a second. Where's Gary Johnson? Where's Gary Johnson? We haven't heard from Gary. I guess I'm going to see him at some debates, but at this point, he was supposed to do a live stream the other day. I was looking forward to getting in there, and he keeps canceling and pushing it off. Are you scared, Gary? What are you afraid of? Why don't you get out here and answer these people's questions? The libertarian movement is not just going to hand you a victory like last time, Gary. You were a good man and a good governor, but I think people are looking for something new. You want to see me shake it up? Shake it up? Huh? Do me a favor. apforlp.com. Send me what you can. $100 is what I want, but if you can't, and you got $10, I'd be very grateful. Thanks very much, and have a great night.